The review of last month's BFL up in Lacrosse and a preview of this coming weekend's BFL up in Prairie Du Chien on this episode of Co-Angler's Corner. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frugal Muse Studios for this new episode of Co-Angler's Corner, brought to you by Olson Theater. I'm Russell Olson. Today I'd like to go ahead and start with reviewing the Lacrosse Great Lakes Division BFL last month. It was a tough day out there, oh my god. Let's put it this way, I had one fish for 2 pounds. And I still ended up 69th. Luckily, that didn't hurt me too bad. It only dropped me down to 24th in the points, so I'm sitting pretty good there. Hopefully, the next one in Prairie Du Chien will be a good day, which I'll talk about that in just a little bit. It's crazy. Every tournament this year, I've had something unique happen. My first 2 tournaments in a row, I had personal best smallmouths back to back, so that's always exciting. This BFL was actually my first BFL that I actually beat my boater. Unfortunately, my boater didn't have anything, which I never want to see that. I never want to see I have a completely bad day like that. That's always tough. That doesn't do anything for me. I will say this: it's always a little bit of a feather in your cap when you beat your boater, and I've actually done that several times. It's always a good feeling. Like I said, I never want to see a guy not get anything, not have anything to bring to the live well, or excuse me, to the weigh-in. Excuse me. Going over things here, the only thing I could think of that we could have done differently. We were at a spot. I had I'm pretty sure it was a dink on my bait. I ended up losing him about 20 feet from the boat. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was a dink. My next, either the very next cast or the cast after that, is the cast I caught my keeper. Talking to my boater, he saw like 3 or 4 fish on his live scope. The main thing I feel we should have done differently was, whether it be me or him, we should have those fish he found on his graph. We should have went back through there and tried to take them all out of there. It's a one-day tournament. We don't have to worry about managing fish or anything like that. Just on a one-day tournament like that, you just rip them all out of there. Rip everything you can get out of there. But that's really the only thing we could have done different, really. The weather had been a little wacky before that tournament, so I knew it wouldn't be. Fish would probably been a little slower. I knew that going in. So I still expected to do better than I did, but that's okay. Everybody's going to have bad tournaments here and there. Let me show you what I caught them on here. Caught them on this right here. It's a Ned rig. I went super duper light. I'd actually talked to someone who fished there locally, and they had mentioned that they had pretty good luck on these, and I had one of these tied on anyway. So I actually went to a little bit darker color. I guess you can catch them on white too, but the thing is, you're going to get a lot. I guess you're going to get a lot of pike on white. So that really kind of, I think that saved my tournament right there. It's a real slow presentation. As you can tell, this jig head is super small. I went as light as I could, get as low fall as I possibly could. I feel like if we could have got around more fish, could have would have went back in there, I bet I would have ripped him out of there. I really think I would have. But that's and really, hey, fishies, just let it fall and just slowly work it back. Just slowly work it back. Usually for me, nothing if depending on the situation, most situations, if the current or just the movement of the boat gets me to be directly behind the boat, I'll usually just reel it in and cast back out. But yeah, I wasn't casting too far out. I was casting maybe 30 foot out. We were in a flat, kind of on a backwater. There were some weeds and stuff near the edges, but with conditions they weren't in there. They were out, kind of out on the flat. I think might have been a drop off nearby there, if I recall correctly. But when times are tough, I realize this is especially when you need to downsize. Now, I'm a big Senko guy. When times are tough, I like picking up a Senko, or depending on the conditions, or a drop shot. But this catches them good too. I've actually today I picked up a little bit nicer jig head from Z-Man. Actually matches the color of this bait pretty much. So I think if I have to go to this on Saturday at Prairie Du Chien, could potentially play a factor again. I know we're talking a couple pulls down. We're talking a lot of different area. Yeah, I mean it's still the Mississippi River, but everything I feel like in some of these pools, fish different for whatever reason. But that could come into play potentially again. It was in the morning. Holy crap! In the morning, I was like, we need radar, guys, and I'm almost surprised they didn't call a delay, because it was foggy. It wasn't that foggy right at the launch, so that could be a reason why they didn't, call a delay. But when we got out, excuse me, when we got out, it was a little sketchy for a little bit. I was kind of keeping an eye in front of us, and because the visibility was horrid for a little bit. And I was keeping an eye on the back, because I know we had boats behind us and we had boats in front of us, so we weren't the only ones that ran where we did. My fish I caught was basically our first spot. We hadn't locked down yet. We did go ahead and lock down to pool 9. That unfortunately netted zilch. I'm glad we got out of there when we did, though, because I guess there's actually a handful of guys that got caught at the lock with a not tugboat, a barge. And those barges, when they get in, they take forever to get through there, because they got to break them down, push a section out, break it down some more, push a section out. I guess it takes a few hours to do that, and I think we got real lucky. We didn't run into that, thank goodness. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's been pretty tough that day. Like I said, there's only one thing we could have done different. Other than that, I really don't know what we could have done different. I mean, we could have tried some riprap, or we could have hit the channel more. There's a few things, but that's the one thing I think we should have done is went back and tried to rip the rest of those fish out of there. But that's it for the lacrosse tournament. Got a tournament coming up this weekend on Prairie Du Chien. I think I'll do well in that tournament. That place we've been there the last few years, and that's been my best tournament over the last couple years. So I'm really looking forward to it. I got a feeling the fish are going to be a little more active. Weather's been going to be, treating us well here. Some clouds are going to be coming in. Hopefully any rain will hold off until after the tournament. but everything is playing towards. I got a feeling this might be a day where power fishing, which is my favorite way of fishing, may play a key. I'm probably going to have I'll probably start with buzz bait, but then if that doesn't do anything, I'll switch that to a chatter bait. I bought a new Whomper Plomper today. I might tie on. I'll have a Fat Matt Daddy tied on. That's a
Ishman Rose frog that's made by River to Sea. I'll probably I'll have that Ned rig tied on, but that probably won't be what I'll start with right off. And depending on where we go, I may tie a crankbait on later. So I feel pretty confident I'm going to probably run a jig. Some things I've definitely had some success on. So no matter what we do, I think we'll be okay. I'll be okay frogging, be okay, cranking riprap. I've definitely got a good feeling about this tournament. So my next episode of Coingler's Corner, I'll be reviewing that. Hopefully I'll have a lot of good news, a lot of good stories from that. I'd like to end here by thanking sponsor Fergal Music Books. I appreciate Dave and the guys over there for all their support. I want to also thank my personal sponsor, Titan Tungsten. They're they're got quality weights. I would definitely check them out. Titan-tungsten.com. And I think that'll be it for this episode. Wish you guys good luck on the water, and go get them.